which is basically in the 2019 era of WWE Raw in his stint as an AEW wrestler. Oh. And let me know your wrestling hot takes down in the comments below. It can be current day or it can be in history, and you'll have a chance of being in the next episode. I understand that a lot of people have started to hate on him because of his run in AEW. I get it. There are some people that he shouldn't have beaten. And speaking of Adam Copeland, recently he revealed that it takes him a good week to walk normally after a match, to which I would go ahead and say, bro, it's time to hang it up if it's getting to this point. But speaking of Adam Copeland, recently we found out the bombshell that WWE have stopped pursuing the Edge copyright. And so I guess sometime soon he's going to be called Edge in AEW, to which I would go ahead and say, let's run back Edge and Christian as a team one more time, one more match. Do that one more time, and then whenever you're next in Canada, let's do one final match for Edge, and that's it. Vince should still be booking. No. If Deonte DDJ was on a Total Divas episode, it would be an absolute banger. Love the vids, by the way. Thank you. I think at minimum, they need to go ahead and get me in the booth to hit a "Ain't Gonna Stop Me Now." But even recently, Nikki Bella came out and said, I'd be down for a Total Divas reboot. Logan Paul facing Jay is a great choice. It can get the IWC to root for Jay early in the reign and hopefully ride the momentum for a couple months. Okay, I can see the vision. If you've already made your opinion about Jey Uso, it's probably not going to change considering he's still going to be doing the things that you probably didn't like before. I feel like the way the crowd was into it, and they're both so polarizing. Like, Jay gets the crowd so into it because they love him. Just because a small subsection of the internet doesn't like him doesn't mean the whole WWE universe doesn't like him, you know? And Logan Paul, say what you will about him, but he is so good at getting the crowd to boo him just naturally by existing. And when you have that kind of fire right there, you have that kind of passion in the audience, that's kind of all you need sometimes. These next NXT call-ups are about to save the main roster. I mean, I know Stephanie Vaquer is saving my life.
Fight all these urges.
I really enjoy the watch ants. Why? Austin Theory would be perfect for the Seth Rollins faction. Low-key, I disagree. I said it recently, but when it comes to Austin Theory, I feel like there is a lot of money there with him as a babyface, and I have never quite noticed it as much as I did in that little Raw segment they had. And if you do want to go with the Rollins faction, that's good too. You build Austin Theory back up, you get him around a bunch of guys where you can fix the damage you did to him a couple years ago, and then you can go ahead and elevate him to the next step and the next step, because I still see something there, and I don't think it's too late. Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins should be the World Heavyweight Championship title match for Mania 42. I completely disagree. It's great, but it's not Mania main event, you know? I feel like the only part of that I really want to take away is the idea of Sami Zayn fighting for the World Championship and winning it at WrestleMania. That's the only part of it I kind of want to see. The Rock made Triple H, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes the fall guys of WrestleMania 41. Yes, he did. If Seth Rollins was never in the Shield, he would be a multi-time AEW World Champion. Wow, that is a drastic take. And I can't really see that. I think even if he wasn't in the Shield, he would have made it to WWE eventually. I feel like if Rollins wasn't in the Shield, he just would have been one of those NXT guys that has a lot of hype behind him, like a Finn Balor, and then goes up to main and wins a world title. Like, it was always going to work out well for him. He's way too talented. I'll say it 10 times out of 10. NXT is the best wrestling show of the week. Everyone feels hungry and motivated. The PLEs always deliver, except for Halloween Havoc 2024, and the roster has never been deeper. Everyone at every level feels like a star. Wow, I agree with that so much. Everyone down in NXT has a point to prove. They have to earn their spot right there, because if you don't, when you go to main, it's going to be that hell of a lot harder to succeed. And plus, with how good NXT is and how good Sean treats the entire brand, of course you're motivated to do better. And so yeah, I really enjoy NXT, man. I'm really happy with the current roster down there in Florida. And speaking of NXT, this week on NXT, The Undertaker was there. And not just The Undertaker, but my LFG boys, Shiloh Hill, Jasper Troy, Anthony Luke. What the hell? I know it doesn't fit, but the SVR 2011 references will never get old, as that game is goated. I actually bought a copy after watching your video talking about it. I need those physics back in the new games. I co-sign all of that right there. You already know. And let me tell you something. That is probably one of the most underrated videos I've ever made. The SVR 2011 retrospective I did, it was an hour long. It is one of my best videos. If you enjoy SmackDown vs. Raw games, you should go watch that. It's a really good video. The Rock is ruining his legacy right now, especially among the young fans that didn't see him in his prime. All they have seen of him is him being a generational clown. By the way, way, love the videos, DDJ. You single-handedly got me back into wrestling. Wow. Well, first of all, I'm very glad to hear that. That's awesome. When it comes to the whole bad blood thing, and then where was that going to go in the long term, whether it was Cody in the super long term, or, you know, he wasn't supposed to be at Chamber, he was just there to sell tickets. And then why did you go ahead and insert yourself into the Cena heel turn plot when you weren't going to be there for the big conclusion at WrestleMania, getting 17? It doesn't. Roxanne Perez will be women's champion before the year is over. I can see it, you know, I can see it. She is the prodigy after all, but I can also kind of see a Roxanne Perez briefcase moment, low-key. Especially because it's heel Roxanne now. Babyface Roxanne, I can't see her holding a briefcase and actually doing anything outside of like a John Cena with it. You know, where she goes ahead and she announces that she's cashing in a week ahead of time or whatever. But heel Roxanne Perez, I can see her doing a thing right there. I could see it. Travis Scott versus Bad Bunny needs to happen at WrestleMania 42. Maybe. The reason I say maybe is because Bad Bunny is proven, but Travis Scott, we don't know how he's going to be as a wrestler. He could be terrible. But also, if he is any semblance of how good Bad Bunny was, yeah, we'll be there. Imagine how much hotter it could be if you had two of the biggest musicians having a banger at WrestleMania. Young OG Javon Evans is the best wrestler on NXT right now. If his promo skills get better, he should be NXT champion over Oba Femi. Sorry, force happened. And I feel like his promo skills aren't even really that bad right now. Like, he just turned 21 the other day. This guy has such a long wrestling career ahead of him. He can work on the promo skills. His in-ring ability is so good that it almost doesn't even matter. He can work on speaking. And better yet, here's a little bit of a bold prediction. I think by the time he's 25, he will have been a world heavyweight champion on main roster. Trick Williams is your next TNA champion. Ooh, whoop that TNA. I really like what Trick Williams is doing, where he's crossing the line a bit into TNA. Right now, he's got this feud going on with Joe Hendry. I like it. And also, I've got to say, on a TNA note, TNA Rebellion, whoa. Carmelo Hayes should be the fourth guy in Seth Rollins' stable. Ooh. He's now won the Andre Battle Royal. I feel like him and Miz are going to break up inevitably. He'll get some wins over the Miz and then he'll move on. It would go ahead and give him a bit more credibility, at least in front of the main roster crowd, because anyone that knows NXT Melo, you know he's got credibility, but in front of main roster, he probably needs a bit more. I think it would do wonders for him, and it would really help the group as well. Tyler Bate is the perfect choice to join Seth's faction. There's another one I wouldn't mind seeing, actually. He is still so young, and he's so good, and he just hasn't been exposed properly to that main audience. And I also feel like Seth's faction right now, they could do with a bit more flavor on them. Don't get me wrong, Braun, you know, he looks like he's been dipped in some flavor, and quite frankly, I feel like Tyler Bate could be a dark horse to join that faction, and I'd love to see it. Deonte DDJ needs to join Judgment Day. He can repair the bond between Finn and Dominic, however, might have some trouble with Dominic near a certain somebody. More like Dominic might have some trouble with me. Keshta is wasted as a member of the Don Callis family. I kind of agree, like, I see where you're coming from, but I also feel like the Don Callis family has done a lot for Takeshita and introducing him to this audience as well. AJ Styles versus CM Punk must happen at some point. 100% agree. Karrion Kross should not have been called up the first time. They knew damn well they were going to go ahead and change NXT and do NXT 2.0, and I don't think Karrion Kross would have fit in that branding. And so it's almost one of those things where Karrion got to NXT like that original black and gold. Right at the end, it was a little too late. If Kross had came in like 2017, 2018, it would have been the perfect time. WWE is wasting Javon Evans. If you have a young kid that is that good and have the opportunity for him to be the youngest world champion, why can't you pull the trigger? I mean, again, he just turned 21 years old. I don't think they're wasting him at all. You could go ahead and take off the youngest world champion thing just for the sake of having that as a tag that he can say, yeah, I was the youngest world champion in history, sure. But also equally, I feel like it's doing a lot of wonders for him with them taking their time, because they've done a great job of establishing him and they just need to keep cooking with it. You know, we don't need to rush Javon Evans. He's going to be fine. Pat McAfee isn't that bad. I completely agree. I think he gets a little bit too much hate. This one is my mom's hot take and not mine, but she doesn't like that TNA and NXT guys and gals are showing up on the main roster. Same with most of the people coming over from AEW. First of all, has she ever heard of a main roster call-up? And second of all, we really got people's mums entering into the DDJ hot takes before GTA 6. And it's not even hard because it just got delayed. I can't.